guys, welcome to Gusto News once again. Thank you so much for always liking, for sharing, for subscribing, telling your friends. Thank you so much. Today on the news, we have something really special for you about OBO and the Odogo African giant himself, Damini Ebolua Ogolo, aka Burna Boy. There's also Yemi Alade, Mama Africa. There's also the Machala himself, Starboy Ibrahim Ayodeji, Balogun, Omoshita, Omosuruliri. Wizkid is in the news. All of that and many more will be bringing to you. Yes, but before we go to OBO and Burna Boy, let's tell you that Yemi Alade is set to drop another major album right now. I mean, Yemi drop albums almost every year. This will be like a 6th or 5th album right now, and Yemi is not stopping. That album drops very soon, in a matter of days, and the album is called Empress. Now, one major thing that has surprised a lot of people is that Yemi Alade once again has left out a lot of Nigerian stars from this album. I mean, Nigerians are on this album. There's Rude Boy, there's Patoranking, but fans were expecting to see Yemi Alade and Tiwa Savage, Yemi Alade and maybe Simi, maybe Teams, maybe Tenny, maybe Waje. I mean, a lot of female Nigerian artists, none of them on that album Empress by Yemi Alade. And of course, fans are already saying, okay, what exactly is going on with Yemi Alade and these other people? When will women stop, hating? Maybe when women start supporting themselves and feature themselves on these albums. Niniola also dropped an album. I'm not sure if there was a female on that one, Niger female on that particular one. Simi also dropped one, and of course featured just maybe Miss Banks or one other person. Tiwa Savage dropped the Celia album, and of course there was no Niger female on that one as well. Fans have started talking about how women should support themselves. Yemi Alade's album Empress drops very soon, in a matter of days, and there is no Tiwa Savage, no Yemi, no Simi, no Waje, no Tenny, no Niniola, no female at all on that one, and that has got tongues wagging once again. We'll move on to Burna Boy and OBO Davido. Now, we know about the fact that both have released albums this year. Burna Boy twice as tall, Davido with a better time, and everyone started once again to compare the album. I mean, those albums breaking records in their own respective zones, and of course, Burna Boy is still saying it's got the album of the year via Diddy, and of course, Davido's fans are saying Davido has the album of the year as well. Now, who's got the album of the year? We really do not know. It's left for the fans to say and pick their favorite. But of course, leading up to the release of that particular album, A Better Time by Davido, there was a lot ongoing. Davido released So Crazy with Lil Baby some days before the album release. Yes, a lot of fans criticized Lil Baby, saying, oh, this and that and all of those things. They were not very impressed with Davido and Lil Baby on that song So Crazy. And just like a few hours before the album released, the album dropped, leaked online, and fans were actually trying to gauge the songs and everything. And then there was a particular tweet from Burna Boy. Burna Boy said floppy disk. And then Davido's fans really came for Burna Boy at that time, saying Fame alone is bigger than the whole of your career, bigger than your whole album, bigger than your discography. Fame is bigger than your, Fame is a diss song to you, and it's still the biggest song this year. Now, a lot of fans have actually come through and, dissed Burna Boy. Anyways, Davido has finally responded to that particular one, floppy disk. I mean, Davido was on Sound City, some days back, and of course, when a reporter actually asked him, okay, so, Oga, how far this album, what were you trying to achieve with this album? What was the message and everything? Davido said, okay, you know what? First of all, it is not a floppy disk.
What would you say? Of course, we know Ifeanyi was the biggest inspiration behind the album. What would you say is the strongest message that A Better Time sends?
First of all, it's not a floppy disk.
We can start there.
Number
and fans were really like, oh wow, Davido has finally responded and everything. Burna Boy has not reiterated, has not retaliated rather, to that particular one. But of course, Davido has said, Oga, before we even start this conversation, let me let you know that according to what Burna Boy said, and in response to what Burna Boy said, let me debunk that claim right now that Burna Boy did. It is not a floppy disk. That's number one. Before we even start, let us clear that one first. My album, 17 major tracks, featuring Mayor Kunsho, Majozi, featuring Southeast Soul, Mujiz, and the rest of them, is not a floppy disk at all. So if anybody will call it any other name, yes, you can call it that, but you can never call it a floppy disk. Davido responding and firing back at Burna Boy's tweet saying floppy disk. I mean, that one is really, Davido and Burna Boy is a movie that is still ongoing and we don't know where it will end. Finally, we'll move on to Wizkid and Burna Boy. Now, we know that whenever we mention a Wizkid and Burna Boy, one thing that comes to mind in this 2020 is that major banger they did together on that Made in Lagos album called Ginger. Now, Ginger has been killing shows, clubs rather. Ginger has been topping charts. He's done a whole lot of madness in the last couple of days. And of course, Wizkid and Burna Boy, like Lala said, is one major collaboration that we've been waiting to happen. And of course, entering the top global, the Global 100, yes, on Apple Music is a major one. And of course, fans are loving that one. Now, guys, Wizkid and Burna Boy are set to actually perform that song for YouTube Music on the 19th of November, and everyone cannot wait for that one. I mean, Wizkid and Burna Boy together performing Ginger, that is going to be a really great one. There was a video of recent on Twitter and social media platforms seeing Wizkid and Burna Boy actually rehearsing, their lines Ginger for that particular show coming up on the 19th of November. Guys, Wizkid, once again, Burna Boy, guys, listen, Wizkid, Machala, and Burna Boy on set together, set to perform that one Ginger. That is going to be a really great one, and of course we cannot wait for that one. We are going to bring you all the details and all the juice from that particular one between Wizkid and Burna Boy for YouTube Music. That's going to be really great, and of course we know that Wizkid never ever disappoint. Burna Boy never disappoint as well, and we cannot wait for magic from this particular guys. That's all we have for Gusto News on this one. Thank you so much for always liking, sharing, subscribing, telling everyone about what we do right here at Gusto TV. We love you and we cannot wait to really appreciate all of you. But for now, we say Nagode, Dalu, and of course, Eshongoni. Thank you so much, guys. We love you and we'll continue to do. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.